What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Podcast, episode 309. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And we're beating hunting heads and breaking honey pots without them.
Blood and honey.
Finally. Been waiting.
What a movie.
I mean, whenever this was announced, because, you know, what? Of course, Winnie the Pooh's going into public domain. You know, that's, you know. But when this was announced, I was like, it's not really surprising that someone got the jump on it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, like when you read the reviews and stuff on it, it's like, whoa. But I mean, you kind of had to expect it, right? Like, I mean, it's a Winnie the Pooh movie where they're murdering people.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's not going to be like, you know, Shakespeare. You know, like, give me a freaking break here, bro.
Yeah, the reviews are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing with it is that it's like there's so bad it's funny, and then there's so bad it's just bad.
Yeah.
And this one falls in the latter.
I mean, I
will say
I
this,
enjoyed
though.
it.
The guy spent $100,000 to make this movie, which is, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Made $4 million. Sequel greenlit, and he's doing a Peter Pan movie.
Yeah.
Now, will that get as many views? I don't know, because maybe the Peter Pan, but the, you know, all the people that, because we, you know, everybody wanted to see what this was about. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know how it got that kind of money. Did it open in theaters somewhere? Like,
I mean, it
was the box
Yeah,
office.
it was like a month or two ago. It was in the local theater.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, I knew going into it exactly what to expect out of this. And like, I went in with like lower than low expectation. And
I mean, it's
I
not
was-
like my bar was set like high by any stretch of the imagination. It's fucking Winnie the Pooh.
yeah.
But still, you would think there would be moments that you'd be like, oh, that's funny or whatever. But it felt like a backyard YouTube movie.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it didn't. But that's the thing. There are backyard movies that are fucking better than this.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't, you know, reinvent the wheel, or there was some genuinely funny parts in it, like so bad that it was funny, that I caught myself laughing out loud. And it's just like when he gets in that car, I mean, it's just little things like that I'm just like, okay, this is, you know,
Well, he runs
whatever.
that motherfucker's head over.
Yeah, right.
Was
And
that
just
his
parked
car?
on- Oh no, that was one of the
Oh.
victims' cars for sure, right? I mean, the kills were interesting enough. Like it was effective, you know. But like the whole Christopher Robin thing, like I really liked the way they did the animation and kind of told the story and everything. I didn't mind that at all. I thought it was pretty cool. And then like Christopher Robin showing back up and he's with his fiance and he's like, you gotta meet the guys. That's the ultimate meeting the guys right there.
Me.
Yeah. And she's like, you have a wonderful imagination, Christopher Robin. Don't let that go. And he's like, but they're real.
Yeah. Like they've been walking for 2 hours, and she's like, 1 more hour. And I was like, why is it taking so long? And I was like, oh, 100 Acre Woods.
Yeah.
It's 100 acres.
Yeah.
Whenever they get to the base camp, it looks like Rob Zombie.
Yeah, oh yeah,
like
for sure.
Devil's
right.
Rejects base camp, like
Yeah.
meat hooks. Here's my thing. If you're gonna eat one of them, wouldn't it be the pig? I mean, it's pork.
Yeah, you'd think. But he couldn't because him and Piglet were BFFs.
They were tied.
Yeah, and Al and Rabbit were pretty close,
I
so
guess they fucked off.
yours. Yeah, they I don't know, they probably murder
They
suicided or
probably
some
killed
shit.
them too.
Yeah, it just doesn't tell that. Yeah.
No Tigger. Maybe he's not public domain.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe he was
Like,
created for the Disney shit. Let's
because
see.
I don't know.
All right, I'm googling it.
I didn't
right
even
here.
know that Winnie the Pooh was 100 years old. Like,
Yeah. It says Disney still owns the copyright to its version of Winnie the Pooh and characters it created based on the original stories. That means Disney will still own the rights to the character Tigger, who first appeared in 1928.
well, not too long.
Yeah. So if they push that sequel off for 5 years,
Yeah.
we might get some Tigger action up
Maybe
in
he'll
here.
make Peter Pan between now and then.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There were
But
some
yeah.
scenes though, man. Like the girls would be like, "Oh," and then it would just fade out
Yeah.
and fade in over here, and it's like, "What's happening?"
What's all this all about,
And what the story like? The thing where the girl was like, some dude was creeping on her.
Yeah.
Really didn't have to have that for.
No.
I mean, they went on
I mean,
a
with
little
a
like creep retreat.
yeah, and like an hour and 20 minutes, they bring that up once, and like Pooh and Piglet didn't really creep on them. They like
Nah.
wrote on the glass and then started fucking on them. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't no creeping. There was just fucking murdering happening. So
I asked
I
Griffin
think it
this
would have
before you got
been
on, Trev. I was like, how'd they know their names?
yeah,
They can't talk.
well, but they, but if you remember in the animated opening, they explained that whenever they swore
Without
off to
silence.
kill, yeah. So
Yeah, but those girls knew their names. The one girl was like, "It's Pooh and Piglet." I'm like, "How do you
Yeah,
know? Who told you
the
that?"
older, the older.
oh, I
one.
mean, well, because like their whole fucking subplot, it was kind of fucking pointless and just didn't need to be there. Because like it would have been an even better movie if it had like if it had just solely been Christopher Robin and his wife having to figure the fuck out what's happened and went down or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like, that I'm not gonna have much good to say about it. So
They
I
didn't waste
mean,
no time killing that bitch, did they? Like
no.
in the first 5 minutes.
I mean,
I thought he
yeah.
was gonna have a change of heart when he shed a tear, and then he
Yeah,
took
yeah,
Eeyore's tail off the wall and whipped the shit out of him with it. It was
That
Eeyore's
was
tail.
That's so crazy, dude. So crazy.
Right.
Well, it's like, I mean, you remember Blood Car, Trav?
Yeah.
I mean, this falls into that same category as Blood Car.
I have to disagree, my man. Like,
Really?
yeah, like this is nowhere near this is not even in the ballpark of ridiculousness as Blood Car.
Oh, I mean, I agree with that, but what I'm saying though is like, you know how Blood Car is that weird fucking like movie that like whenever people come over and you're like, oh, y'all want to watch something fucking out of nowhere?
Yeah. Well, like Blood Car is like the Rome of horror films.
Yeah.
Like that's what that is. This
Chick
is
from My
like
Girl in it.
this is like let's replace Jason with Winnie the Pooh because we can, and cue the fucking same stupid broads dying in the woods scenario. And I
Straight
mean,
up slasher.
the idea sounds good, but it's almost like they were like, "That's a great idea," and then they stopped there.
Yeah.
And then they just started spending money. Because I would argue, and I don't even give a fuck about killer clowns.
Yeah.
But for instance, Winnie the Pooh touted at $100,000 budget,
Mm-hmm.
made 4.6 million. The Terrifier didn't even have a theatrical release, so we don't even know where it came from. But it was made on a $35,000 budget, and that movie overall looked better than Winnie the Pooh. Like, not even like story, all that, just the idea, whatever aside, just on a pure production level.
Yeah.
Like $35K got you something like the Terrifier, and I don't know if y'all bothered to waste your time with it. I did. It's bloody as hell. It's a typical like run of the mill like horror film, just like Winnie the Pooh, with the buckets of blood and people are dying, stupid fucking scenarios where the killer gets to be goofy and kind of odd stuff,
Yeah.
and just by looking at it through a quality lens, like you know what I mean, it's like some money was misplaced, I think, in the production of this film.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how much money did they spend on that set? You know
I would
what I
say
mean?
the cameras too.
Yeah. Yeah.
A decent
'Cause, like,
cameras.
now, the one part that got me a slight chuckle was when he bashes that woman's head in to the table or
Oh,
the
yeah.
chipper or whatever, and then he just proceeds to feed her into the machine.
I thought he was
And
going to
like
eat them.
you see the really shitty CGI chunks coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
It was so
And-
dark in that scene, I couldn't make out what was happening. But I did see a rag. Not the country.
I was fixing to
Oh,
make a joke.
and like hot tub chick, like
I don't
just
give a fuck if you're back there.
her overacting was so stupid, man.
Like,
Yeah.
Like,
if you see that
She-
thing behind you, you just going to turn around and chill?
I
I'm gonna
mean,
turn the light on.
I mean, we're all grown ass men here, and I assume that if we decided to take a beer selfie in a pool and we see some shit like that, I think it's pool time's over.
Yeah. Well, I'm over here like, there's no way
I'm
I
gonna-
would do that. I'd be
like-
afraid I'd drop my phone in it.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna cliche white person pursue what the fuck it is, but I sure as shit I'm not gonna be sitting in the fucking pool anymore. I'm gonna get the fuck out and go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's that
It
gun
would
at?
be. It would be weird anyway if just us three were hanging out in a hot tub, though.
No, hey, you grouped us up. I was meaning, like, just if any one of us happened to do that, you were like, "Oh, dude, we're all together, all right, dick swinging, beer popping." No,
I mean, I got
But-
shorts on.
As long as I
but
can
I
sit in
mean-
front of the jet.
But like that, I mean, that woman was like, wasn't that if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the same chick earlier in the movie? She's just sitting on that bed, just like acting like a stream cam girl,
Yeah,
but
the
like
loud one.
not in front of a fucking cam.
Yeah.
She was loud.
Yeah. No, I mean it was about what I expected it to be at the end of the day. Like I got enough enjoyment out of it where I didn't feel like I wasted my time. And I just like I was just along for the ride, man.
And I absolutely was too. I just, for me, it wasn't a case of either like diminishing returns or exceeded expectations. It's nothing on an expectation level. I think for me, it was just a good old fashioned case of, all right, here's this idea. Oh, well, that's not really what I wanted. Like I
Yeah.
didn't, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's got. I mean, like we've clearly made the point here is that it's Winnie the Pooh, the horror version, and it either worked for some or it worked for others, or it didn't,
Yeah.
So,
And I do think that the whole like exploring everything from the perspective of like Christopher Robin would have been an interesting concept. Or like if he would have like shown back up and like saw what was happening and was able to get away, and like he was spending all this time trying to like figure out how to get in there and like maybe rehabilitate him or something, like, to be like the thing in this movie that links like the quote unquote good person with the quote unquote bad person. You know what I mean?
yeah. Or
we needed our
or
Loomis.
how,
You know?
or yeah, or they could have injected the trope of the victim becomes crazier than the villain
Yeah,
in the sense
right.
that, like, you know, Robin's strung up, he's watching these people get killed. Winnie the Pooh's fucking throwing corpses beside him, like, he's getting mentally wrecked in front of while all this stuff unfolds, and then at the very end almost go full fucking Evil Dead where he's got to slay and take out all the fucking monsters.
Yeah.
And
Because he created them.
just put them down, Old Yeller style or something.
I was on his
Yeah.
side until I saw that flashback where he's like, "I'll never leave you, Winnie. It's gonna be
Yeah.
me and you forever." When he little tear rolled out, I was like, "Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, right.
I had to go."
I love how that was the one thread of the whole movie was them just being like, "Fuck you, Christopher Robin."
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a brief moment there, but like I genuinely thought that not only were they going to kill, like I thought the killing of Christopher Robin was actually the cold opening of the movie at first. I was like, did they just fucking
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought he
right.
was
like
dead
wrap
too.
this shit up in 10 minutes? Like, like what the fuck are we getting for? Like, I mean, my curiosity got peaked and everything, and then when they had all the broads show up, I'm like, yeah, here we go. Got to get camp set up.
Yeah.
But for what it is, I don't necessarily feel like it was time wasted. I mean, hell, it was only an hour and 20 minutes, hour and
89
30.
minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've seen everything else, might as well watch this. It's definitely in that category, I would put for sure. And, even with what you said, you're not. It's a thing you throw on the TV where you and a bunch of people are not really paying much attention to the TV, but it's something ridiculous going on that like y'all can pause, or the one person that may not be in on the conversation's like, oh, all right, I'll just look at this for a second, and they get a chuckle out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's exactly how I feel about it. I mean, to me, it would fall in with Blood Car. I might put Blood Car on before I put Winnie the Pooh on, but like,
I think Blood Car like absolutely depends on the person, man, because
yeah.
that movie, don't get me wrong, that movie's fucking stupid, but
It has some redeeming qualities.
Oh, dude, the best part in that whole, like, I'll put it this way, it's called Blood Car for crying out loud, but one of the funniest lines is when those two vendors are set up and that chick just walks in the frame, walks up to her and goes, "Hey, you got any trash bags? I'm all the fuck out." Like, it's just stupid little bits of dialogue like that sell that fucking movie.
Yeah.
But, I definitely wouldn't cut it on if like there's someone that's like hardcore horror aficionado, like, it's not a gallon of blood type movie for, or a moviegoer's film,
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
Yeah. How many people do you think that's listening to this know what Blood Car is? Like it made the rounds.
First off, good luck finding an actual copy of this movie. Secondly,
I got it on DVD.
I was about to say, secondly, if you do watch it, enjoy sitting in a fucking computer chair.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be watching it on a computer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if you scraped like the shittiest streaming service that's out there, I'm not going to name one, but if you went through the bowels of that, maybe you might find it up somewhere on some indie section. But I mean, it can be watched, but I mean,
yeah,
it's got better scores than Pooh for sure.
They have it on Amazon on DVD for $13.49. I wonder if they'll make a Blu-ray copy.
I think my wife and I paid like, I don't know, under $5 for ours. Yeah. It was just a random impulse buy. We had a bunch of other shit in the cart, and we were like, "Hey, let's just throw this in there."
Yeah,
like it's one of my wife's personal favorite movies, just because I mean, for whatever level of genius she's on that I'm not. But
save gas, drive Blood Car.
Yeah,
it's a tagline.
I mean, I got my copy. So whenever Hollywood Video was going out in Fort Payne,
Oh,
Alina bought it, and then I bought it from her after the fact for like $1. So yeah, that's I have a rental copy of it.
yeah. It's got the sticker on it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it does. But
It's
yeah,
almost like those are now historical artifacts, like
yeah,
movie, like rental copy, like bought movies, where
Yeah,
you,
I've
like
got
you
my
said, it has
Blockbuster copies.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
the seal that, like, yeah, a bunch of hands have touched this fucking case.
Yeah, it's dirty.
yeah.
That's some pre-COVID shit for all you people that live under a fucking rock.
I love the sticker. Whenever you look at the disc and it's got the sticker on it,
Mm-hmm.
that's my favorite.
Yeah, don't try to
Could
take
you-
that off.
I mean, just
Yeah.
like with just like with books and stuff, with the exception of comics, of course. But like with a book, man, you can't help but appreciate the little charm of, like, when like a movie or a book has, like, you can tell it's had some, it's been loved, like it's been enjoyed, and
Yeah.
for a long time. The worn out stuff of it, aspect of it is it's like its own little merit badge now, badge
Yeah.
of honor.
Bonner. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a hearty. I'm just gonna go contrary. I'm gonna go full star. I really did enjoy it a lot, like more than I thought I ever would. To be fair, and that's saying because I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just my expectations were set so incredibly low. But like I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm like, this is not bad. Like compared to some of the junker things that we've seen, like, like I put it on the shelf as Blood Car as being like in high regard here, but this isn't as bad as some of the shit that I've watched in the past that's like horror movies or horror action or anything like that. So that's where I'm landing at with it.
Before I give it a rating, I'm going to say that my favorite part was when those guys got out of that truck.
Dude, I was
They were-
fixing to bring
They're like, hey, what'd you do to these girls? That guy was like, all right, gents, tool up.
Yeah.
Tool up.
Well, what's funny is like all of them were British except for
The
the
one guy. What the fuck was
Yeah.
that?
I don't know.
No,
Dude.
but he
Who the
was
hell
like,
knows?
he almost did it sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Then he'd quickly go back into like a Jersey accent. Tool
He
up,
was hanging
gents.
Yeah, he was hanging around those British guys too long. He started to adopt the accent a little bit,
He's like, you ready, boys? They start moving up. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
didn't help him. Like,
So
everybody
random.
hit him at once. Don't give him a chance to pick you off
yeah, right.
one by one. Yeah, I'm going half star.
I'm gonna go half star as well. The movie wasn't good, but it was a movie.
Yeah.
We've
Um,
we've seen some stinkers together, Trav.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
for
saying? Like-
sure. Oh yeah. I mean, I'll put it this way: if you can sit through the Babadook, you can watch this movie just fine.
Yeah,
Well, it was ridiculous.
it was.
I think this movie should have the preface of only watch if you're like at that level where you've watched like all the classics, all the top rated indies. Like you got to get to about the third or fourth tier in your movie journey before you pop Winnie the Pooh in, or you're gonna be like you're gonna miss a lot of points
Yeah,
on like a creative level. Like, of course it's fucking stupid. Of course it's over the top. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, not everything's got to end up with Robert Englund fucking scraping a metal claw down a wall. Like it's not. But at the
right.
same time, the shit don't have to be as cerebral as fucking A24 film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it a half. I'm a sucker for blunt force trauma scenes where you just like somebody take like one of my favorite scenes in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is when Brad Pitt, you know, when Brad Pitt just straight beats that fucking woman's head across that fucking poster, that threshold barrier. You know what I'm talking about. That scene.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those are hard to execute.
Yeah. Effectively.
You got to have a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
Like you got to know when to when to cut away, when to blend it in, all that good shit, man. And I mean, they did do it right there, but but yeah, man.
Mandalorian though. Whoa.
It's going down.
Choices were made.
Yeah.
Lizzo was
So-
there with Jack Black.
Yeah, what? I was not expecting that at all, but I mean, you know.
The internet has an issue with it.
Why?
Well, the internet's just like, the Mandalorian's done. The last 2 episodes were trash, and I'm over here like, I thought they were great. I mean,
Yeah, what the fuck?
I like where we're headed.
The people harping about the Jack Black Lizzo aspect of it, I think they missed the point of their characters, period. Like they were on a planet that was completely in an age of decadence. Like they don't need conflict. Like, yeah, there's a lot of big people. Because guess what? People can sit around and eat. People ain't got to get up and tend to shit. Like everyone relied on the droids. Like it's, you know what I mean?
They're
like,
living their best life.
Yeah. You don't have to give a fuck on that planet. Just, you know, just don't piss off Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I enjoyed it.
I love the Dooku callback with him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was fucking awesome because, like, you know, we've been seeing, excuse me, we've been seeing what's happened to the remnants of the rebellion, what they've ultimately become with the New Republic. We've gotten a lot of fresh look at the Empire. We've got to see it as the First Order. We're seeing the remnants of the stuff happening now and everything. But you never really hear, you kind of forgot about the Separatists. Like there's still that faction out there. There's still those people that are like, no, fuck all of you. We don't want nothing to do with any of you.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, man, like I thought that was really cool. Did you guys notice the C-3PO R2 parallel when they land?
Yeah, yeah. I noticed as soon as that I saw him standing out there, I was like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
It is interesting that they're diving into like, those type of topics because it's like I never really thought about it. It's like, okay, well, what happens to the droids after the wars happen? Like, do they just destroy all of them and melt them down and like create something new? Or, but I like that they were kind of exploring that aspect of it, and then like from the things that I've heard, a lot of people or some people are upset about the fact that he gave her
The handoff.
Yeah, the dark saber.
Oh, one of my buddies, he made a funny comment about that. I told him I'd wrapped up the episode, and he had said something to the effect of, "Man, I could hear all those Mandalorians sighing as Den explained, broke down why he was giving it to her."
Yeah,
but I think it's the long con, man. And I don't mean in a con as in character wise, like con as in Filoni and Favreau.
Yeah.
Because one of the underlying things in the show has been culture, tradition. Okay. This episode, particularly with Bo-Katan and Din talking, and also there's stuff that embellishes on her stuff in Clone Wars. I don't know about Rebels, but it's in Clone Wars at least. But in this episode, it showed that the Mandalorian or Din is able to, like, he's cultured. He understands that you gotta know you have to respect the culture to get them to want to cooperate with you.
Yeah.
And we've seen him do that throughout the show. Like, he knows all these different languages. He knows all that, all the hallmarks you would need for that.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan probably can do that, but like, I feel like she doesn't or won't.
Yeah.
It was a point I was making with off podcast. But long story short, though, I think it's all like Bo-Katan is going through the same character thing that happens with a lot of people and a lot of other shows. And it's like someone who gets brought back into the fold on something. They start to be a believer. They start doing all this stuff. And then they kill her.
Yeah.
And maybe what I'm saying is sacrilegious to some fans, but I feel like they're setting Bo-Katan up to where, yeah, she'll be the leader of the Mandalorians. We'll have a little spell where she's doing that shit, or maybe one episode, because this show fucking warp speeds through some pacing.
Yeah.
But imagine, like, what if they have a thing where they find, or when they finally encounter Thrawn, because one thing that makes a bad guy good is when they roll up and they take out someone that you give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Maybe not the main character, but one of his big, one of his right hand, left hand men or whatever. So Thrawn shows up, fucking kills Bo-Katan to kind of be like, hey, I'm not fucking around. Here's why. Because I infiltrated all your shit. Which I would also say they're setting up Din to be kind of an anti-Thrawn, because he is a strategist like Thrawn. He knows, he operates in the same mindset of like understanding your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that parallel there, kind of. But yeah, what if he just shows up and kills Bo-Katan, and someone has to get the saber back, and then Din actually gets it properly, and because even though they're throwing all this like Star Wars universe stuff, like everything's bleeding over right now, and we're seeing shit from other shows and all this or whatever, gotta always remember, this is the Mandalorian show. Like, it's gonna deal with him.
Yeah. Well,
and he's gonna get that sword back, dude.
Well, that was the point that I was trying to make, because I was talking to Garbo about it, and he was like, I don't like to hand off this, that, and the other. And I'm like, why? And he's like, I just don't like it. Like, he needs to have it. And I'm like, yeah, but the target is off of his back for the moment. Look at it from that perspective. If dude shows up looking for that thing, he doesn't have it. So that makes her the target for it.
Public enemy number one, yeah.
Exactly. And I think that at some point the show is going to, like, he does not want to be the leader. But if they need one, he will definitely step up to be the leader, right?
Well, the best leaders are the reluctant ones.
Exactly. So I think
because even though the Darksaber has its own telling, I've always kind of got King Arthur vibes from it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it might go that way, I mean, for crying out loud, they're establishing a Camelot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And that I mean, I can definitely see that, like, okay, she gets it, crazy shit happens, she dies, whatever happens to her. He has to step up as the leader, that after everything, because the thing is like, in every situation that Mando has been in, regardless of whether he goes into that situation like on good terms with whoever it is or not, by the end of the episode, they're best friends, because he does what it takes to get whatever that needs to be done. So whenever this whole, like, this other movement or whatever you want to call it of the Mandalorians, this other subset of the Mandalorians, see what he's not only capable of but willing to do for the cause, then that's just going to rally them behind him that much more. That way, whenever her inevitable fall does happen, then he's got their support. You know what I'm saying? So like they're kind of
Yeah.
setting it up perfectly for him to become the leader at some point.
Yeah, and to add to that, I didn't watch all of it because it's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours long or something. But and I know we'll get to it in trailers and news, but I watched some of the Star Wars celebration, just some of the key interviews I wanted to see, and one of them was Filoni and Favreau, and they made a really good point with just the sheer amount of content I guess they got.
Yeah.
And it's that they're able to tell these individual stories, but every now and then they got to let the galaxy rear its head in and be like, hey, like, remember this, all this shit's happening.
Yeah.
And so I feel like for the people that are at that point where they're not liking this particular flavor right now,
Yeah.
I don't know, I say buy the dip, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like, just ride it out, because it'll ultimately get back to where it's just Mando and Grogu.
Yeah.
But in order for them to achieve whatever level of capabilities as a team that they have in the Star Wars universe, obviously going to have to kind of interweave with the fabric of the larger story going on,
Yeah.
because they got to explain, well, okay, well then why the hell is this 50-year-old, Yoda species so fucking powerful and we never heard about it in certain points of the movies or whatever,
Yeah.
or like, because that's honestly Grogu's biggest plot hole, or just like part of his story that hasn't been explained yet.
Yeah.
Is, that's a long time between the prequels and where we're at now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, there's plenty of room for exploration there with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, I agree with that 100%. And it's like at the end of the day, like you have to have these one-offs. Like they were saying, like you have to have these one-offs every now and then. And the way that like it was laid out, like how much did this feel like a video game whenever you're watching this? You get, oh, you've got to go to this planet, and then you get there, and it's like, oh, there's a situation going on. You got to go investigate it, and then, oh, action happens. Like it felt so much like a
yeah,
video game quest.
well,
Like,
it's been like that since season one, I'd argue, because season
yeah,
one is the tutorial. He gets
yeah,
the new skin.
yeah,
Season two, the game starts. You got some shit going on and fucking about.
yeah. But I mean, it'll loop. And the thing is like we've got 2 episodes left. Like, what major is going to happen in the next 2 episodes that's going to lead into the next season? Like, we don't know what they've got in store for us. So, like, just take it as it comes and enjoy it,
Do you think we'll see Gus?
I think so.
I mean, like,
I
he's
think it's
probably going to want his shit back too, right?
It's interesting you say that, Adam, because my current guess for how the series is going to end, this season feels super cliffhanger
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, I think he's going to show up, some shit is going to go down, and it's going to cut to credits, and we're going to be like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree.
And not in like, oh, dude, still, like, it's not going to be like someone, like, you know what I mean? It'll be a situation where they, like, I feel like the Mandalorian and Grogu might get split,
Yeah.
which I know that's that's low hanging fruit. But I mean, I feel like in any point it's going to be Moff Gideon showing up.
Yeah.
But
Well, and they did the thing where they left behind like traces where it looked like the Mandalorians broke him out,
Yeah.
and that may bring war on them because
Yeah.
it looks like they did it.
Yeah. What if?
And
And
I'm
I mean,
pretty
what
sure
if
that chick had something to do with it. The mole.
Yeah.
Yep. And what if that causes them to go to the planet that the planet that Carl Weathers is on, where they actually have an actual plot of land to restart, like they have a little nation they can build there now,
Yeah.
more or less. That would kind of, because obviously, if each season is gonna have like a bigger sequence going on,
Yeah.
then clearly we're gonna get to a point where there like multiple fights are happening on multiple planets,
Yeah.
which is gonna be insane. Because if they'll spend the budget and do the time to make that pirate episode that was like just what, episode 2, like I honestly, that looked more expensive than the finale of Boba Fett, and it was better.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
And yeah, I mean, what about him? What if somehow he shows up?
Yeah.
Or what if the Beskar is left by Boba? Because we're at some point in his story where he's doing bounties again.
Yeah.
And he fucking rolls up and gets Gideon for him. So I mean that's a weird ass left field idea, but I mean, I'm still holding on the idea that like Boba Fett, like some shit's gonna happen in his story that's gonna dial him back into silent but deadly mode again.
Yeah.
Like he'll talk like very few words, not hey, let's go fucking like let's sit in the back of the tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
For 6 fucking episodes or every episode.
I'm getting not liking that handoff because like, what do you want her to do? Kill him?
Exactly.
He already tried to give it to her. He can't even use the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Can barely swing it. She's just fucking swinging it around like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like he found a loophole.
Yep.
Well, what was so funny is because that whole little sequence, which the fight between Bo and Wolves, I think, that fight was really well choreographed.
Yeah, right.
If you go back and watch it, they utilize every bit of their kit that's non-lethal, pretty much.
And they bought the perks,
Well, I mean, and like certain like decisions. And when Bo was falling off the ship, she hooks him and drags him with her. Like they're matched neck and neck.
Oh, yeah. I like that rocket kick.
Yeah,
like
like
blow up and kick him. Like
for a human melee sci-fi fight, sure, it was ridiculous, but I mean, these are pretty cool, ridiculous characters,
Yeah, for sure.
But no, like when they did the Darksaber handoff and he was doing his explanation, my mind immediately thought about like, I'm pretty sure me and the neighborhood kids had rules like that when we were in the backyard at someone's house playing baseball or something. Like they broke in like the house rules. They're like, well, since Batman's, the leader over Robin, I get to say that the Joker goes to jail, like some dumb shit like that.
Right.
But I mean, it's for a reason. And I mean, this is the criticisms that this show gets, and even other properties too, man. That's the trade-off to having a TV show.
Yeah.
An ongoing TV show is that not every single episode is going to be a hit. Look up any of the top 5 greatest TV shows, not limited series, greatest TV shows that had multiple seasons. Look them up and tell me which season was flawless start to finish. Seinfeld excluded.
Breaking Bad. But that's the
I'll
exception.
wait. Yeah,
you know
but that's the thing. Well, one could argue that honestly, Adam, Breaking Bad's one big ass movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like it's shot like a movie.
$3 million an episode.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Once the show leaves,
That's the only show I could think of though where it didn't have a
but
turd
you
in
do
there.
see, but you do see my point though.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of shows that are
No.
flawless, and to expect that with what we know, not only behind the scenes with Disney, Lucasfilm, all that stuff, supposedly behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, they could be. I mean, they could be either a full-blown company-wide war, civil war amongst themselves, or they're just business people that want to make money and don't give a fuck. You know,
Yeah.
which is probably the latter. But be that as it may, like, obviously there's going to be moments even with the Mandalorian, there's going to be moments in the show that just don't hit the beat like they should.
Yeah.
One of my personal complaints is, even though I've enjoyed the branching out and everything, the show kind of was sold to me as a space western, and we're back into space opera.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like the lone gunman. Yeah, he's got Grogu. We don't know why the fuck he's there. That's a big mystery. We'll breadcrumb a bit here and there. Let's drag that out throughout the show. Like, I could say that season 1 and season 2 could have just, I don't know. That was a very good story, but I mean, that alone, just imagine that serialized, just like Western, like Mando's just taking care of the planet, dude. You could still go to so many other locations. There's so many other things going on, like, but like Star Wars has always done, they'll make a planet seem really small because it's a fucking galaxy, you know.
Yeah.
But my complaints are just minor and stupid and nitpicky. But I mean, I kind of like I wanted the Clint Eastwood back in it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, but we've been unlocking a lot of new characters.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
Lizzo.
For sure. Yeah.
Got the key to the city, though.
Yeah. And they gave him a big ass key. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
I don't use that shit. Get
Melt
it out
it
of
down.
here. You know? Yeah.
One thing I will never get tired of. The
Grogu's
shots.
cooing?
I mean, dude, come on. If I was like,
fucking adorable.
dude, if I was a little kid, I'd have Baby Yoda everything.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. But, and maybe a lot of people are over the CGI, spectacle stuff. But for me, seeing a ship come in through the atmosphere, land on the planet, get the full rundown, find the landing pad, I never get tired of those sequences.
Yeah.
And neither do the creators, because they're in fucking everything. But dude, the Mandalorians actually are really beautiful. These locations are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
When they land whenever they come into the whatever where Jack Black and them's at, as they're coming into the planet, and like the fact that they've gotten good at, like, I feel like it's ray tracing, but like the lighting for these shots are really, really awesome. And people have shit on some of the CGI quality in the show, and I'm like, what? Like, didn't we all agree that this is the only show where we can make a fucking puppet flip in the air like that, and we're just gonna be okay with it?
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get our chuckles with it and be like, oh, it's Grogu. Oh, they threw that fucking puppet across the room, man. And but no, dude, the volume is everything, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, we got a little bit of movie news here. So, Death Clock is returning with a feature film soundtrack and a new album. So, full length original film written and directed by Brendan Small, Metalocalypse Army of the Doomstar, a companion soundtrack, and Death Album 4 will also arrive this year. Bloody discussing learned via press release. Here are the details. Death Clock will kick off a 29-date national tour on August 30th with Japanese Kawaii Metal Pioneers Baby Metal as co-headliner. It's very surreal having, I'm not going to go on, the Baby Clock tour. That's kind of funny. Coming later in 2023 is Metalocalypse, Army of the Doomstar, an original full-length movie written and directed by Brendan Small and produced by Titmouse, Adult Swim, and Warner Brothers Discovery Home Entertainment. The film stars Small, Tommy. Well, we don't have to go into all that. The all-new animated movie begins after the heroic rescue of Toki Wartooth. Death Clock frontman Nathan Explosion finds himself traumatized in a brutal, professional, and romantic flat spin, all while he is tasked with fulfilling the prophecy and confronting the ultimate songwriting challenge to save the planet. Can Nathan Explosion look beyond his brutally damaged ego to save his band, stop the Metalocalypse, and finally face the ultimate evil? So yeah, and they've got tour dates on here too.
With
That's
Baby
cool.
Metal.
Yeah,
Wow.
Baby
Well,
Metal.
so as much as I would love for all of us to just burn through the show, I know that's not a plausible thing, but when this comes out, I would like to do either a two-parter or a double episode where we watch Doomstar and we watch uh the army of it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I think if we can watch Aqua Teen and Blood Machines, I think this is fine.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm just happy this is even happening, because I've really enjoyed this crazy this crazy parallel that Brendan Small has created, where he's taken aspects that every band has ever went through and has made it into this ridiculous animated show
Yeah,
where it just hits all the check marks, and then
right,
tells a ridiculous fantasy, like, metal ass story in the background.
right.
I mean, it's our generation's Spinal Tap, and it's a shame that so much time's passed, because the show's slowly, I mean, or at least from my perspective, it seems like it's slowly receding into, yeah, people know who Death Clock are. People go watch Death Clock, but not a whole lot of folks have, like, I just don't think a lot of people have watched it initially,
Right.
and I don't think a lot of people have went back for the rewatch.
Yeah, I mean the first season
And
premiered
it's a sh- and I
whenever we
do,
were in high school. So
yeah, and it's a shame, man. Dude, the
yeah,
clip, the clip in season 1 where they're filming Swiss Guard, and they're playing a track that Brendan Small titled "Crush My Battle Opponent's Balls,"
yeah,
and he's just sitting on this fucking like this summit of a mountain, just fucking soloing, and then he starts to slay a dragon with the guitar.
yeah,
It's just so absurd, dude. But yeah, man. I figured with them having a movie, I figured this was worth throwing in there. But I would like to watch at least both of the movies, because that'd be about a 2-hour time fill. Because I feel like this won't be very long. It'll
yeah,
probably be about an hour, maybe an
yeah.
hour and 5.
I'm cool with that for sure. So next up here, Jason Momoa's Minecraft movie is getting a 2025 release date. So the Minecraft movie adaptation in the works with Jason Momoa at Warner Brothers has an official release date following years of spinning its wheels in development hell. Wednesday, it was announced that the film has been dated for a theatrical premiere on April the 4th, 2025, coming just under 2 years from now. That date had previously been booked by Warner Brothers for an unnamed movie, now revealed to be Minecraft. There's very little that has been revealed about the Minecraft film. Last year, it was reported that Momoa was officially set to star in the film, described as a live action adaptation of the popular crafting game. Jared Hess is also on board to direct. Reportedly, Mary Parent and Roy Lee are producing alongside Mojang Studios. Says giving Minecraft an official premiere date gets the project closer than ever to actually getting released after some previous false starts. Rob, I can never pronounce his last name. The dude from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia was planning to direct it, and that fell through. There's also been reports that Peter Sollett was going to direct, while Steve Carell has been wanted for a starring role, but the project just couldn't make its way out of development hell. I mean, I remember when Charlie Day was supposed to star in this, and that was like 10 years ago at this point, I think. So
I officially want to dub our reality the Jason Momoa Minecraft timeline.
I don't understand how they're going to do a live action version of it.
Well,
I think they should have just done an animated version and be done with it.
Hear this pitch. It's just a good old fashioned alternate universe movie where somebody just gets plucked out of the real world, you know?
Yeah.
Pick your vessel of choice. But I see it with all right, so I know Minecraft's better with friends, obviously. But there's a lot of people out there that just play it by themselves, and that's perfectly fine. That's how I played it a lot from time to time. They could definitely craft a movie, no pun intended, with someone like Jason Momoa. Because I'm trying to think of someone like a personality he could play, and it would make sense for him to be in a Minecraft film.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see it being something like guys like living a busy life, you know, like he's constantly overworked. He doesn't get to see his kids. He's, some shit like that. Some shit happens, shenanigans happens. He gets plucked into the Minecraft world and he's alone, but this shit's trying to kill him. And he meets villagers. He meets, other people or whatever. And he, good old family movie, he learns the power of just toning it down and appreciating being around people that want to be around you and care about you. And so, he'll come back to the real world, but he'll be like a changed man.
Well, at the end when he beats the dragon, and it's like, now go outside and touch grass. Remember it tells you?
Yeah.
That's when he takes his headset off, and it's like, his VR headset.
Yeah, dude, that would be perfect. That would be a perfect plot device. It's like, why do you need to go fight the Ender Dragon? Because you gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
and that's the only way. Classic adventure movie trope.
Y'all know Jared Hess did Napoleon Dynamite.
The exits behind that big ass dragon,
So it's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna have that crazy sense of humor for sure.
Hopefully he's seen Mob Squad. Work some of
that would be great.
Shit's hilarious.
Now let's, in the spirit of Winnie the Pooh, Momoa goes into the Minecraft world. They're constantly trying to kill him. He's the first human being there. He's fucking Herobrine.
Jesus. I don't know if they'll go that deep with it.
That's the game,
Yeah. It is kind of odd that they're going live action with it, but hey, I'm just glad it's finally getting made.
Dude, how cool would it be to go with the whole go outside and touch grass metaphor at the end of the game? What if when he's doing this, like, the dude dies a lot? Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like when you're first starting out in Minecraft, like a zombie gets him. And like they do some crazy stuff where they're like, oh, the mobs in the game are just whoever shows up, and they die repeatedly over and over and over. Like the skeletons, they're the oldest ones. The creepers, they were always here. But the zombies are like all the different players, like give them a bigger purpose.
Right.
Because that's kind of what they are. Like they're all the times you've ever died or any other players died in Minecraft. Or at least that's a symbol of it I've always took from it.
Right. So yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that in 2025. And with the box office that Mario has raked in this past weekend, it's it makes sense why they're moving forward with it. I'll say that.
So the
Video game
storyline
move.
says that the Ender Dragon sets out on a path of destruction, prompting a young girl and a group of her friends to save the world. The other
So it's
world.
just
Overworld.
so it's just gonna be straight up like we're in
Adventure
the
Time.
Minecraft world.
Yeah.
I mean, well, if the whole concept of there being a Nintendo cinematic universe now, um, I mean, they could very well end up in the Minecraft universe too. Like they'll link it together.
Yeah, for sure. So next up here, Akira live action film gets promising update.
I don't want an
So
update. I want a fucking trailer. God damn it! And
So it seems like the Akira live action movie might be happening after all. Announced a few years ago, the Hollywood adaptation of the acclaimed Japanese animation movie has been changing status, with many directors and creative teams getting on board just to abandon the project later. But now it looks like it's finally moving forward. 2019, Warner Brothers Discovery announced that Taika Waititi would take the story to the big screen with Leonardo DiCaprio attached to produce with his Appian Way banner. Since then, news has been off, on and off, especially with the director having his plate full with many projects like Reservation Dogs, Our Flag Means Death, and Thor: Love and Thunder. Watiti was one of the surprising absences at the Star Wars celebration, but now that he's set to direct and maybe star in his own movie for the franchise, but the live action Akira might have been the reason for him not showing up at the event. According to Deadline veteran Justin Kroll, Watiti is working on the project right now. Since everyone is wondering where his Star Wars film is, if I were a betting man, my guess is Taka's next movie is his Akira movie at Warner Brothers, which he put on the shelf to do Love and Thunder. He never left the film, and word is script. He never left the film, and word is script should be into studios soon. Again, nothing set in stone, as the film would go through regular process before green light, including figuring out a budget, but sounds like all his focus is on that project.
man, I would really love to
DiCaprio, huh?
see.
Yeah, right.
Dude, yeah, right, dude. I hope DiCaprio called and gave Taika Waititi the 5 words, man. Do not fuck this up.
Yeah.
And Waititi's like, all right, and said
Yeah.
some humorous shit. And like, but I really like as over the top as Akira is, like, just do it 1-to-1. Like, I know a filmmaker wants to do their little imprint and be like, here's how I would do it. But, like, literally, just take the anime and make it live action.
Yeah.
Capture the nuances.
Yeah.
Like, you can absolutely do that with a feature length film like Akira. It's not a show. You ain't got to sit and invest all that stuff. But, like, yeah, there's plenty of room for comedy and everything before the split and kind of help make you care about them and hate the fact that Canada has to basically watch one of his like closest people in his life fucking just like go fucking crazy and then just ultimately nope out of reality.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested to see what the casting choices for it's going to be like, because I remember back in the day when they were working on trying to get it going, the casting choices at the time was Chris Evans was cast as Kaneda, and Tetsuo was cast as Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I thought that that would have been really interesting casting, but now that was like 15 years ago at this point. Like this was like not long after like the first Avenger. So it's
But
been a minute.
yeah. And I mean, and honestly, speaking of that ending, I really think the Hollywood version we're not gonna get that ending.
I
Like
think
I think it's almost still too. It's still. I feel like the studios would feel like it is still too much. Like
I,
we'll get right to the door, but then they'll do something where he has to actually fucking kill him.
well, I think we'll get a similar ending with more exposition. That's what I think that we'll get an ending to where you have Kaneda and Tetsuo face to face, like
Yeah,
actually face to face, and that be the way that they show that, as opposed to how the anime ended, where he's like floating through and that conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think that it'll be more of a literal, like, this is, visually it wouldn't be as impressive, but it'd be easier for people to understand. So,
yeah. And I mean, I mean, there's still gonna be so many awesome sequences that I know Watiti's gonna he's gonna have to get. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everything from the chase sequence to the fight sequence where he's on the bike and all that stuff, dude, just whipping shitties off of like rubble.
Yeah.
And of course, you got when Tetsuo fucking just takes that torn banner and makes his cape.
Yeah.
I
I,
mean,
I hope he got all the goofy shit out of his system with Thor. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
there doesn't need to be some like very cynically funny like overdub while they're doing something. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That I bet you're wondering how I got here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't do that.
Right. So these
But
next articles, I'm gonna just wham bam, thank you, ma'am, them real quick because they're all pertaining to Star Wars. Um, I'm because they go kind of individually on a couple of things here. So, Star Wars fans should rejoice as Lucasfilm. I don't know about rejoice is the right word. President Kathleen Kennedy offers some updates on the future of the franchise. Kennedy didn't hold back and spilled what lies ahead for the franchise, including 3 new Star Wars films, a follow-up film to the sequel trilogy, and the return of Daisy Ridley as Rey. Among the lineup of films is the yet to be named film by Miss Marvel director Sharmid Abday Shinoy, which has received numerous speculations over the last few months. It was previously reported that co-writers Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson decided to bail on the project. Stephen Knight, known for his works on Peaky Blinders, stepped in to write the script for Daisy Ridley's film. During the interview, the co-founder of production company Amblin Entertainment gave an update on what's going on. This is what she said: "We've been working on that film for a few years, and all that feeds into our overall storytelling. So we've just got to a point now where we've got a wonderful writer in Stephen Wright. He's come on board, and we're going to see a script probably in the next month and a half that we've been working on for quite a while. So we're getting close." When asked what her reaction was when she first heard about the project, she said, "There's never a time where something is just instantly suggested. It's such an evolution of conversations all that we have all the time, and we knew coming off of the Rise of Skywalker that we needed to take that further. We just didn't know how far out. We didn't know exactly what the story might be, but now we have much better ideas." So that moves into the Rey movie will be set 15 years later and finds the Jedi Order in disarray. So, following the reveal that Star Wars: The Force Awakens star Daisy Ridley will return will return for another Star Wars sequel, Kathleen Kennedy has now revealed further insight into the project, into what the project will involve. Speaking with IGN during Star Wars Celebration, Kennedy revealed that the untitled installment, which will see Daisy Ridley reprise the role of Rey, will pick up 15 years after the events of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker and finds the Jedi Order in disarray. Well, we're 15 years out from The Rise of Skywalker, so we're post-war, post-First Order, and the Jedi are in disarray. There's a lot of discussion around who are the Jedi, what are they doing, what's the state of the galaxy. She's attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order based on the books, based on what she promised Luke. So that's where we're going. The mention of Star Wars staple Luke Skywalker will have many wondering whether the beloved Jedi Master will return. While the character did die during The Last Jedi, death is never the end of a Jedi, but does that mean Luke will appear as a ghost in the Rey centered sequel? I don't know if we'll spend a lot of time in flashbacks or on Force Ghosts or things like that, but certainly the spirit of what he represents to her is going to be significant. Um, After that, there was another article here about the Rogue Squadron movie, Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie. So Rogue Squadron seemed destined never to be seen when Disney reportedly pulled the plug on it earlier this year. However, despite the Patty Jenkins directed movie not going ahead, it appears there is still a glimmer of hope that the story could be retooled as a Disney Plus series sometime in the future. During Star Wars Celebration, Lucasfilm Kathleen Kennedy addressed the possible return of the Rogue Squadron idea and suggested there are still conversations going on about how to incorporate that story into the Star Wars universe. She told IGN, Rogue Squadron, that definitely is something that we still talk about. Whether it's a movie or whether it ends up being in the series space, that's definitely something. It has been over 2 years since the announcement of Rogue Squadron's development. Still, since then, the film suffered continuous setbacks from scheduling conflicts, development issues, and eventually the movie seemed to have no place in the new lineup of Star Wars projects. When the film was pulled from the potential upcoming slate, many believed this would be the final blow for the project, but it seems that there is always potential for any dead project to be brought back to life. Whether Rogue Squadron does eventually fly is something that fans can only wait to find out. On the heels of that, Filoni's new Star Wars movie to culminate The Mandalorian and spin-offs. So the Star Wars universe is expanding yet again as Lucasfilm announced 3 new films. These highly anticipated films will be directed by acclaimed filmmakers James Mangold, Charmin Obaid Chinoy, and Dave Filoni. Filoni's film will serve as the culmination of The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka, showcasing the war between the Imperial Remnant and the New Republic. Mangold's film will take audiences back 25,000 years in the past and explore the origins of the Jedi Order, and Shinoi's film will focus on the rebuilding of the Jedi Order occurring 15 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker. Filoni's involvement in the project has fans especially excited as he is a seasoned veteran of the Star Wars universe. As the creator of Star Wars Rebels and executive producer of The Mandalorian, he has proven himself to be a master storyteller within the franchise. Fans can expect the same level of quality and attention to detail in his new film. With the return of fan favorite characters like Mando, Boba, and Ahsoka, it promises to be an action packed and emotional journey. The announcement of these new films has generated buzz among fans of the franchise, with many excited to see where the Star Wars universe will go next. As the franchise continues to expand, fans can expect new adventures and fresh perspectives on this beloved universe. With such talented filmmakers at the helm, the future of Star Wars looks bright. And the last article is talking about that James Mangold prequel. So it says, You've seen The Last Jedi, now meet the first. Logan and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Director James Mangold will helm a Star Wars movie about the very first Jedi, titled Dawn of the Jedi. The project was revealed that the ongoing Star Wars Celebration 2023 event, with the filmmaker continuing his collaboration with Disney following this year's fifth and final Indiana Jones outing. Revealed during the panel, Dawn of the Jedi will be set in the deep past and will introduce audiences to the first person to ever use the Force. The Star Wars movie has been described as a biblical epic by Mangold, and certainly sounds like it will explore the Jedi ways and their connection with the Force more than ever before. When I first started talking to Kathy, oh God, about doing one of these pictures, what occurred to me was thinking about what kind of genre of movie within Star Wars I wanted to do. And I thought about a biblical epic, like the Ten Commandments, about the dawning of the Force. Where did the Force come from? When did we discover it? When did we learn how to use it? Star Wars is a little unclear on who the first Force users were, though it is thought a religious group known as the Da Bendu were the main inspiration for the eventual Jedi Order. Nevertheless, the somewhat vague knowledge of who the first Force user was should give filmmaker James Mangold plenty of room to put his own stamp on the Star Wars galaxy. Of course, Mangold will first bring an end to Harrison Ford's legacy as the iconic Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, set in 1969. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we've got 3 flicks coming out. We've got Filoni's flick that's going to be like a culmination of all the Star Wars series. We've got a Rey sequel, and we've got a mega prequel, like a way, way back prequel.
Well, I mean, despite the first two, to me the most interesting one is this first Jedi.
Yeah, same.
I liked what he was throwing around, biblical epic. Like, let it set the tone for how the Jedi revere the Force.
Yeah. It's
And like, and how it would kind of create, because there is some stuff that gets touched upon in Clone Wars that deals with the balance of the Force and how
Yeah.
Anakin's storyline crosses into it. But the characters that he has to interact with, kind of, if I'm not mistaken, there's like a thing where they kind of have like where they're speaking like they've always been around, like they've always just,
yeah.
And it would be cool if we could see how that would manifest later on, thousands of years later in the storyline.
Yeah.
And yeah, and what would be cool is if this, I mean, never mind the fact that it chooses the fucking thumbnail, but what if some of the first people we see, Yoda species is around it?
That's what I was
Because
thinking.
if they're in, like, if this is a Yoda species centric movie, that's a
Sheesh.
big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a real big deal.
Yeah. For sure.
Finally learn where they come from.
Yeah. This is kind of how I see it in my head. First I want to mention this. Kathleen Kennedy could say whatever the fuck she wants, but she has no fucking clue what's going on. Okay. First of all, because how many times is she's like, we're working on shit, and then it just all fucking crumbles, under the weight of Star Wars. So like the Rogue Squadron thing, maybe we'll get it, maybe not. It sounds like she was talking out of her ass there. Like
Yeah.
we might do it as a movie or a series or a book or a comic book or whatever. But what it sounds like to me, and this is something that I've talked to Corey about and Garbo about a little bit as well, and Rubio, surprisingly recently, about how like with the Mandalorian, with the series that we have, the Filoni film that's going to be a culmination of all that stuff, and then there's rumors that they want to make a sequel series to Obi-Wan. There's rumors going around that they may decide to possibly do like a Luke Skywalker thing that's set during the timeline or during the same time period that the Mandalorian stuff is happening, and then with them actually continuing the story with Rey. I think that with the Rey movie, with the Filoni movie, and the series, they're going to try to go in there and fix whatever they can fix from this last trilogy that came out, so that everything's good. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, fix has positive connotations to it, though.
I mean, I think that they can still fix it.
Well, yeah, they could, but will they? Will this fix it, or will this just further drive Star Wars from being George Lucas's idea into being Disney's money-making machine now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like if Filoni and Favreau are doing everything that they could possibly do to try to, because that's what it's felt like to me. It's the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and all that stuff has felt more or less like a love letter to Star Wars films of like, we're sorry that we didn't get to work on the other shit, but here's some really good shit. And then with Favreau's like, well, we have to talk about this stuff because it's got to lead into what inevitably happened. I can see them trying to more or less right some wrongs there because
Well,
everybody has different problems with this last trilogy that came out.
Well, one thing to add to that is that what Filoni and Favreau are absolutely doing is, although it's not cinematically, and I think I've talked about this already, but they are completing George Lucas's vision.
Yeah.
Maybe it may not be how Lucas was intending it, but as far as the narrative beats, they're absolutely going in there and putting it in there, whether the overall, race stuff,
Yeah.
adds up or not. Like they can fix that and they can fix that in post.
Right.
But it's interesting that these three movies are effectively going to try to be a palate cleanser for the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
And the last two solo outings that they threw out there, Rogue One and Solo, while Rogue One did great, Solo didn't. So with just those odds alone, it's a 50-50,
Yeah. Right.
And I think it's a bold move to make that Dave Filoni is gonna make a big screen film that tells the ending of a show that people have been paying every month to watch.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that actively don't subscribe. Like they purposely don't. Not a matter of I don't have the money or there's not enough content there, so I just grab what I do like. Like people that are like, fuck Disney, I'm not fucking subscribing,
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think with some of the stuff that we've heard about the tops of like the amount of money they're probably losing with all these investments, because the only reason they would dial back these projects it has nothing to do with the fans or the consumer. It has everything to do with the amount of money that they can, because people are going to buy this stuff and watch it in all of its different forms regardless. And the more you pump out, the more they'll keep going to.
Right.
As long as it can maintain a quality. And while that quality bar fluctuates like a fucking roller coaster, it's still there.
Yeah.
Well, recently they did that thing where they fired that, highly paid CEO.
Yes.
They've laid off 7,000 people, saving them $5.5 billion. It's like, goddamn,
Yeah.
the
That's
fuck will you pay
crazy.
it? Like,
Yeah.
definitely trying to save some dough. I
And
wish they would stop announcing movies until they know for sure it's going to be made.
Exactly.
Because they keep doing this.
Yes.
Well, I wonder it's to see if it's audience reaction, like which one's going to get the loudest reaction, and that's the one they go all in with the money.
See, someone asked her the other day about Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie, and she said it's going to happen. And then this was her quote. He doesn't really want to bring others into that process, and I don't blame him. He has a really unique voice, and we want to protect that. That's what he's doing. It's like, yeah, he don't want you fucking his movie up.
Yeah, right.
Like, he's been real, like, I don't want nobody else. Like, let me do it.
Yeah.
I don't need no help.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, despite how people took Love and Thunder, Ragnarok got him the Marvel/Disney seal of approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that carries some leverage, I'd assume.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think that like the three movies that they're actually talking about are honestly good choices, in my opinion.
And
Especially the prequel.
I agree, but it also, from a business standpoint, it also looks like a total fucking Hail Mary.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because like this is the way that I'm looking at it. It's like, regardless, even the people that fanboyed behind the new trilogy were not happy with the trilogy. The Filoni stuff makes sense because that is the thing that is the most popular for right now. The prequel movie is something where they can go back and use that as like, these are the building blocks moving forward of the Star Wars universe. Like these, like like it would be the fans building blocks. You know how like companies have their company motto and their company standards and things. So okay, Lucasfilms has their internal standards, and then the film the watchers, the viewer base has their own set of standards that are all over the fucking place. If they can go back in time and set a standard for what people, should be looking for and kind of have familiarity with, then, and I know you can argue it's like, well, we've got 50 years of Star Wars. Yeah, we've got 50 years of Star Wars, but like we've got many generations of Star Wars fan too that have different things that are important to them socially, economically, and also from the media that they consume. So if they go back in time, it makes sense why they're like, we're going to set a standard right here of like what a Jedi is, what a Sith is, what all this encompasses completely. And that's going to be the standard moving forward as far as like storytelling, this, that, and the other. Ray, on the other hand, is something where it's like, she's not getting a job. I don't know if somebody's doing her a favor because she's going to be typecast, but like it also feels like, well, why would you sequelize something
I'm
that
surprised by
wasn't?
that.
Yeah, why would you sequel? That to me
Well,
is the Hail
remember she
Mary.
came out and was like, it fucking ruined my career.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm
So
even
why would?
surprised that she's willing to do another one. Like,
Yeah. And that's my thing. Like, why would they sequelize something that was so poorly received unless they have plans in the pipeline to go in there and try to make some type of sense out of any of
try
it?
to fix it.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, to me, from a business standpoint, it's all safe bets.
Well,
You've got something so far in the past that it doesn't matter, something that's popular, and then something that may either retcon or smooth everything out.
and it doesn't feel like it, but Disney purchased the property 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They paid $4.5 billion. They got to make Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Like,
And they realistically, I mean, how many Star Wars properties have they produced? I mean, they've got the movies, they've got the 3 movies, they've got Rogue One, they've got Solo, Andor,
yeah.
Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Bad Batch, some of those holiday special things. I mean, it's a decent amount of content, but for that long,
Yeah.
like if Disney Plus would have existed when they purchased it, we would have 10 years of TV shows at this point. You
a
know,
lot more shows. Well, and by
yeah.
laying off those 7,000 people, they just recouped that 4.5 billion.
Yeah. And
But
so,
it's 5.5.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long. That's wild.
No, it doesn't.
Let's see. But yeah. I was just looking at numbers while y'all were talking. I was paying attention too, but like for instance, like I just with like Filoni's movies still dwell like heavy on my mind though, because it's like, man, like think about this in terms of them, like with their money. Like for instance, I'm on an article with TechCrunch right now. They're going to be Disney Plus is going to be getting an ad supported subscription tier later this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the difference is?
You gotta watch ads.
$1.
Wow. Yeah. That's insane.
$1 more and you get no ads, while we're already ad free at the moment. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to garner more. Like they're just trying to suck up as much shit as they can right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's so uncertain about what the future is going to hold for us as a country right now. Like, legit. It's like, are we going to go to war? Like, what are we going to do? It's like, oh, we've got how many people did you say they laid off? 70,000?
7.
Okay.
Which
How much are they paying?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
What are
I
these
thought
people
you
making?
said 70,000. I'm like, okay, that makes no, dude.
Like, you got people laying around. It's like, get the fuck. What do you do here?
Yeah.
You make coffee? Leave.
Yeah. That's what fucking Google did, like I mean, I don't know. To me it feels like it's a lot of safe bets with one cuz they could fix it. Like with Luke being introduced canonically in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and all that stuff. They could go in there and they could make a series if they wanted to kind of fix some of the larger issues that people had with those other movies. and fix this everything as a whole. But I don't know, like, are they going to do that? That would be the safe thing to do. That would be the right thing to do, in my opinion. But are they going to, though?
And this is gonna so this is gonna go in straight contrast to even like Mark Hamill, I would assume. But I do not understand. Well, I do. I guess I just disagree. I don't have a problem with Luke's character being where he's at in his life when we pick him up in the sequel trilogy. This dude found out that the very belief system that he's founded upon
Is a sham?
was, well, not sham, it fell to hubris.
Yeah.
But this very, because that's the thing. That was one of the key reasons why we would see Yoda every now and then, because we'd be like, that's a Jedi.
Yeah.
All these other motherfuckers are struggling to keep up with him.
Yeah.
Like he's their, he has almost a Masonic figure to it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, the very like teachings he lives by were the same teachings that his father was wiped out by another one of his own people that was his very own father, that resulted in the death of the parents that brought him up. That fucked him up probably.
Yeah.
And then he starts the Jedi Order again.
Mm-hmm.
Ben falls. So his best friend's,
Oh,
his nephew, is doing the same shit his father did.
it's a never-ending
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah.
He's obviously got up to speed with the history of the galaxy at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, didn't
I
he
would be
train
the
him
same
up?
fucking. I would be the same fucking way too. I'd be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Well, he
Well,
trained Ben, right?
Yeah.
Ben goes in there and wipes everybody out. Also kills Han Solo.
Yeah. Right.
God damn.
And
Yeah.
also, this is what me and Corey was talking about. What was in, because he burnt the temple, right, and the
Mhm.
books, right?
Mhm.
What was in the books?
The secret knowledge.
But like, well, I mean, to me, it's like, okay, even if, let's say that in that moment in these last movies that happened, that Palpatine was able to project himself and cause that vision, that deception to happen to Kylo to make him think that Luke was the one that did it, right? But also, like, was Luke already in shambles before this because of the knowledge that he was able to acquire?
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
So it's like there's a lot of unanswered questions there that would be very simple for them to go in there
Well,
and fix a lot of this stuff.
interesting enough, we're getting a biblical epic because those books that are in that temple
Hmm.
were basically they were the Bibles for the Sith and the Jedi.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, because who wouldn't want a piece of this merch? They have those books published. And Ryan Johnson actually quoted pages from it when he was making his movies.
Hmm.
But I would assume they range from anywhere from the different ways to utilize the Force to the different fighting styles, what's allowed and what's not. Because that whole stuff gets deep.
Right.
But because at the end of the day, that whole sequence was just to signify that, like, Yoda was like, quit clinging to the past, man. Go forward.
Yeah. And the thing that Corey brought up that I thought was interesting, and I know that it's not canon anymore, but he said that they talked about some of those books in the Knights of the Old Republic, where like the first Jedi were fully gray Jedi that embraced both the light and dark side and was able to control the light and the dark. Then a separation happened, power, and then that's when the
Yeah.
divide happened. So what if he's reading? That was my thing. It's like, what if he's reading these texts and he's like, to be an actual Jedi, you have to embrace the good with the bad. You have to be good. You
Yeah.
have to be indifferent. You have to be full neutral. Like no chaotic, no lawful. You have to be full neutral in order to embrace it. And then what does that do to his world?
But
Because
that's
his
but that's almost redundant though, man, because the whole idea about the Force period is balanced.
A lot of people can't balance
And
it though.
yeah, and that's what the dark
That's
side
the
users
problem.
are the people who can't balance the Force. They can't balance their peace and stuff.
right.
I mean that makes for great storytelling, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I agree with it's canon, obviously, or legends at least.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's yeah.
Well, it's like
So
they're balanced until something goes wrong.
exactly.
Something happens. They're like, trauma.
Yeah.
I'm bad now.
Right. So, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, so they could go in there and they could pull some of this legend stuff, and they could go in there and explain away like the reason why Luke was the way that he was, and the reason he reacted, and that could have been a hologram, like a projection of the Emperor. That could, you could explain it away in a way where people's like, okay, I'm a little bit more okay with this, and yeah, it's more viewing, it's extended, this blah 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 blah, but like it could be done. And I think that if there's any chance of that happening, I think it's going to be now or
Yeah.
within the next couple of years. Because if they can't fix it, then Star Wars is going to have to do a full reboot.
Well, dude, if you think about it too, like this was 11 years ago when Star Wars started up at Disney. They tried to go Lucas. It didn't quite work out for them. Well, since then they've found their voice.
Yeah.
With these shows, and
Yeah.
they've got their format. They've got the right people on the job. I don't think Filoni was working there. Well, he didn't have any clout
Right.
at the time. But we've got people. Who's driving the bus?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, particularly for Star Wars and how old it is now, and it's something that Filoni and Favreau do well, is that to make these new stories set in this universe people are very well aware of, they've got to respect all that other, like they're able to make the Mandalorian and respect like the whole classic, make something new out of something old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do it the right way.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I'm interested to see how much of this stuff that was actually talked about is going to manifest itself.
Yeah. Actually happened.
And yeah, so we'll see.
Well, dude, they've
'Cause,
had a
like-
long time now to think about what they did wrong. Like, sit around,
Yeah.
like, how can we fix this? You got, like, fuck it, ask the AI,
Yeah.
Let it watch all the movies. And it's like, we've had time to smoke over it.
Yeah, for sure. Ponder it, if you will.
Remember when the prequels came out and everyone
Yeah.
lost their fucking minds?
Yeah, exactly.
Now people like them.
Yeah.
And see, I never understood that,
Yeah. It's like, why are you complaining? You got more Star Wars.
because the prequels came out when we were old enough to be like, hell yeah, more Star Wars.
Yeah,
And
whoa.
we weren't.
We haven't seen one of
We
these
weren't-
since the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably some of the very first, like, really shitting on criticisms that I ever read on the internet were people tearing those films apart, and I was just sitting there reading it going, I didn't take any of that
Yeah.
from that.
1999.
And maybe it was just kid brain, Yeah, I was focused on playing
Yeah.
Star Wars Racer and eating
We were playing the
pizza,
pod
dude.
racing game and
Yeah.
having a good time.
Yeah.
And by the time Revenge of the Sith came out, like, and I knew that movie. Like once people had their big laugh at the no moment at the end,
Yeah.
uh, I knew when that movie went off. I was like, in my mind, I was like, yeah, this is probably one of the best ones, man.
Yeah.
Just because of its narrative significance, but just because like the movie was just good.
Yeah.
Well, and they can talk shit all they want. The budget of episode 1 was 115 million. It made 1.27 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing the others did too.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna suggest. Okay. We're getting ready to do June Wick, right?
Oh yeah.
I think that like after we do June Wick, we should do the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's been a while since I've seen them. We did the rest of them on the pod, but we haven't done the prequel trilogy or the OG trilogy on here.
I
think
thought you'd never ask.
I think it's time, dude. I think it's time.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we owe it to ourselves, and with a lot of this Star Wars, buzz going around and everything, like we can really kind of dive in. Now that we can talk about it, we can pick it apart in a organized fashion,
Yeah.
instead of just like, dude, I watched Star Wars the other day and it's like, I haven't watched that in like, a year or two. And it's like, what's crazy? And then it's like, I kind of remember that. No. Let's fucking do it on the pod I'm going to try to get fucking everybody in on it. You know what I'm saying? So that we can all talk.
A couple of years ago, I went back and watched the prequels.
Yeah.
And loved it.
Yeah.
I was over here like, why? Why were they so mad? But that's just Star Wars fans. Well, it's like that with everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a ritual with me. But every Christmas I play all the movies.
I mean, perfect Christmas movies, man.
I mean, some years I'm able to binge them all out. Other years I just leave them running while I'm doing everything else. But for quite some time, I've watched all 6 movies pretty much most of my life.
Yeah.
So
let's try to do that, man. Let's put it towards the end of the year then.
Yeah.
Well, to give us enough space, that way we can end on the 26th would be the final Tuesday of the month.
I mean,
so we can start in
November.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
Bang them out.
Yeah.
sounds good.
I'm ready for trailers though. I went ahead and dropped us a reminder in there, by the way. So we talk about it now and then it's like, well, we're supposed to do something. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to put June Wick in there too. Just so we don't forget. But what's this Michael J. Fox about? Is this a documentary? Is this a biopic?
It's not really a movie.
Before we get underway, I just want to underscore that I'm really pumped for June Wick.
Yeah, same, right?
And that new one's going to be out by then, right?
I would assume, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've heard really great things about that 4th movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the second one and the third one. I've never watched the first one, which I heard everybody was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. It's going to be a flip for me. I've seen the first, haven't seen the sequel, so it'll be cool. And it's cool. It's comforting knowing that I feel like we're clearly gonna get, because it seems like the good reviews for the movie is all across the board, both critics and fans. So it's nice knowing that it's building up to, when we send it off for the month, it's gonna be, it's gonna end on a high note maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
sorta.
here's something that I noticed about that article where they talk about all the spinoffs. I was like, why are they talking about spinoffs with this fourth one? And it's
Yeah.
like, was it the last one? Is that why we're bringing
Mm.
spinoffs in? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what happens?
possibly.
Like, because as soon as that fourth one was coming out, they dropped that article. They're like, we're going to do this one with the side guy, this guy. It's like, why are we branching off now? Does something happen to John Wick? Surely
Or
hope
like,
not.
does he finish the job?
Yeah, don't
Whatever that
007
may
his
have.
ass.
Yeah. So, well, I feel like John Wick dying in that movie would have blown up the internet.
Yeah.
As much marketing as that movie has, as much fandom as that series has right now,
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a MODOK looks like shit level of fucking all over the algorithm. You know what I mean?
Right.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
ran across this when it dropped, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." We all love Michael J. Fox, right? I mean,
He's a national
Dude,
treasure.
he probably hates this fact, but he will always be. For me, he'll always be Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm ready for it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. He was huge. He was.
I'm already fucking sold. I'm gonna watch this anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great song choice.
Yeah.
I remember hearing him talk about he would when he took Back to the Future, which W.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad I don't live in the timeline from the
Yeah.
footage of the other guy. No. But he was
Oh,
like,
Eric
I would go and
Stoltz.
I would go and film Family Ties. Go get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, maybe. They'd wake me up, put me in an ice bath, and get me on set. And I always thought, I was like, that's probably what fucked him up, man. Was just that not getting
Yeah.
enough sleep, just constantly work.
Yeah. He's
The
his
national treasure.
personality. Yeah, dude. His personality is just fucking incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
Like,
energy,
yeah.
well, like I put him up there with like Robin Williams,
Oh yeah, yeah, for
personality
sure.
wise. Like when he gets on
Yeah.
stage and he's like, I feel four foot tall. You know, he's 5'4",
Yeah.
but like
He
that's
just-
him in every movie. He's playing himself.
Yeah. So charismatic, you know. All right, is this the fucking Captain Marvel shit? Is that what we've got here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's from Marvel.
All right, now let's peep it. I'm holding all reservations.
It's probably gonna suck. I haven't seen it either.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
The fuck is that?
Thought that was the Beastie Boys for a second. It is. Stalker. Oh shit.
Oh God.
Okay. Men in Black. Trailer don't look bad. I think it's the Beastie Boys that's doing it for me.
Yeah, same. I know.
Like, great song choice, but like, this is better because you had Captain Marvel trying to carry that other movie.
Yeah.
This is better.
Yeah, I'm gonna start saying this is gonna suck before every trailer.
Yeah.
Like this didn't like blow me out of the water by any means, but like I like the idea that they're toying with. Like
Yes.
they're gonna have to play the field pretty cleverly, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And it makes
So-
me want to go back and watch that Marvel series.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me give a shit about it to do that, but
Well, I
Well, they said it
mean,
was pretty good.
yeah.
I think he even played the game. Wasn't there a game? She's the one with the big fist, right?
well, it's
Yeah.
the Avengers game.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's
yeah,
the
and
campaign.
yeah, she's got a big to do in it.
Cock
so-
knocker.
Oh, dude.
That's what I think of when I see the fist.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, with whenever you unlock the Hulk, dude, you're slinging rocks and knocking cocks,
Yeah.
dude.
Wow, there's a funny story behind that.
Yeah. No, but that's. I mean, I'm gonna go watch it for the Nick Fury.
Yeah. See, they got him in there. We got the
this-
show, like,
Cause see, yeah, this is gonna build up
lining
to
up.
Secret Invasion, man.
and that looks like pre-patch Fury, where you still got the patch.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Saber is that's some X-Men stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And it has something to do with X-Men too, I think.
ooh.
I think it does. So
So maybe we'll get a very good hearty helping
Drop
a
this.
comic book with that.
Movie
Yeah.
poster in general. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I am down for that.
what the fuck?
It's a Western.
Yes.
I mean,
Is there a trailer yet?
No, they're going to start filming in May.
Oh,
But I saw it on Twitter while I was looking around, and I was like, ooh.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I actually watched Ethan Hawke recently. The guy that did that X movie
Yeah.
and fucking the one where the chick was
Pearl?
crying. Yeah.
I'm gonna be a star.
Yeah. So he made a Western
Uh-huh.
that, like, in the Valley of Violence or something. Ethan Hawke. I watched it recently. It's pretty good.
man,
Really?
over the years I've learned to realize that like Ethan Hawke's come a long
I
way
like me
since
some
Training
Ethan Hawke.
Day.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Go home,
he's
you'll go to
pumped
jail.
out he can absolutely carry a film. Really dug his character in Moon Knight too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Low and slow, baby.
Wait for that. Anyway.
Let's get into this super Ahsoka.
Yeah. Ahsoka.
Hmm.
That's what they used to call me in high
Throwing
school.
towels out, yeah.
I mean, it's nerf for
Yeah,
nothing,
be
dude.
careful, you'll trip and fall.
Yeah. And
Or
then get
slip.
Ahsoka.
Let's
I'm
get the
ready.
butter knife and slice this into the pieces. Baloney.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Baloney.
Leave me Filoni.
Something's always coming in Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh. New
Dig
creature
the-
unlocked.
Dig the score. Subtle, but nice. Already digging the bad guys.
Yeah, I like that, dude.
Because they always do.
Never get tired of that. Dude, there's the politician lady from Andor.
Okay.
There's our boy. Name drop.
Somebody brought it up the other night. Orange lightsaber. Is that a ghost song in the background?
It's the intro for the new record.
Looks good. I like the tagline: Warrior, Outcast, Rebel Jedi.
So there was something I was thinking about the other day. And I've kind of been missing it with all the newer stuff we've been getting. I miss the skillfulness and the like over the topness of the prequel lightsaber fights so much. And it's been a while because like Obi-Wan versus Vader wasn't that elaborate.
Yeah.
I want the next big lightsaber duel. Like I'm ready for that.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I hope we get something of that nature with this, because if they if they keep the situations that Ahsoka ends up in on par with how she was in Clone Wars, like for instance, there's a sequence where they're coming in the atmosphere. He pulls a Lord of the Rings with one of the pilots as they're coming in, like, I'm gonna get out of here and do my thing. I'll meet you on the ground, basically.
Mhm.
And Ahsoka proceeds to just jump ship to ship, just fucking shit up, and beats the fucking ship to the ground. And so, like, you know, and some of the fights where she ends up at, like, because that's the thing, like the change of environment as they're fighting. Like, they're not just staying in one. It's not an Emperor's throne room lightsaber fight. It's, you know, something of like on par with Obi-Wan versus Anakin, because that one, I mean, that one's still probably the greatest.
Right.
Because I mean, they were moving all over shit, all of that. I don't know. I hope maybe we can get something close to that with Ahsoka, because I mean, we got a lot of lightsaber footage in that trailer.
Yeah. Hell
Indiana Bones.
Let's see it.
Here we go.
Yeah, I haven't
Harrison
seen this
Ford at
either.
80.
Right? I haven't
80
seen
years
this
old.
either. So
Now, I
I'm
did
hoping
see
this
where
is
the
good.
articles are coming out where he's like, this is it. I'm retiring as Indiana Jones. It's like, well, if the check's in the mail,
Yeah.
never say never, but he says he's done after this. Let's peep it. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. Oh,
What is that?
it is. Oh.
Time travel.
Yeah, I'll talk about it then.
Yep, we're going. I think we're about to get a trip down memory lane.
I don't think that could outrun that, but
No.
No. Mads Mikkelsen's always trying to steal some shit.
and play a Nazi. He looks like one.
Was waiting for it. The best mashup I've ever heard.
Oh wow, they worked on the. So I saw an interview with him where he was talking about the deep fakes.
Yeah.
It was wild. Like it does look good.
I'm calling it
Keeps
right
getting
now.
better.
We're going to time travel to different pivotal moments in the series, and it's going to be just like a big send off for Harrison Ford.
I
Battle of
mean,
Destiny.
yeah.
And it showed him initiating the Rock and Temple of Doom. Like,
Yeah.
so, all right. So a supposed script leak, if it's something y'all even want to be bothered with. Proposed script leak apparently pitted someone getting the dial and going back and changing all the things Indiana Jones ever did. And the basis of the movie is ultimately him and her going back and making sure all the events happen.
Sounds interesting.
So, don't know. But yeah, I'm down for time travel of any form, so I'm biased. I'm excited.
Definitely
I wasn't
better
as-
than Crystal Skull.
Well, yeah, and even then, man, kind of didn't really have too much of a problem with Crystal Skull.
No.
Nowhere near as good as the other three. But you got to remember, there's also The Last Crusade. Like, no one really talks about that one much, do they? It's always Temple of Doom or fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, those are the movies everyone calls back to. Not a lot of people bring up Last Crusade. So, I mean, the level of shitting on that Crystal Skull got, I was absolutely a part of it. But over time, like, it's classic Indiana Jones, man.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen it since I went to the theater and watched it.
It's been a long time.
I might have a different take on it now. Because, when you go in there, you're just so hype.
Yeah.
I just remember that when the ship, when they finally get to the thing at the end, they get the skulls lined up and you
Start
see the
spinning.
alien and all that. I remember when I saw that in theaters, I don't know if it was just because of the screen or whatever, but like, dude, that ship rising up out of the ground, all the trees, the dirt, all the little details like that falling off of it and everything. I remember going, that looks good. Like, that looks expensive.
Yeah.
I just remember, and I remember like it was very like in the theater, it was as big. Like they did a good job. Spielberg did a good job of making you feel like, oh shit, like this is fucking huge. The scope of it, you know.
Yeah. Talk to me.
me. Tell me your name. All right.
So much to say. All right.
A24. 3, 2, 1, play. Huh. That's cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We saw a teaser for this.
Yeah.
Put the bulldog away. One hell of a salvia trip.
Yeah.
Mm. Soul phone. Mm.
A possession movie that doesn't suck, maybe?
I know. That's what I was thinking.
Earlier, did one of y'all say the Babadook?
Yes.
So this guy directed that.
Okay.
So
Danny
we're
and
we're looking
Michael.
at about a 50. I'll give it the benefit
I
of the
just,
doubt.
when I
I'll say
looked at the
60,
credits
40.
for the director, I was like, did somebody say that earlier?
I mean, it seems like a weird idea, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, we're gonna find out if he had that dog in him.
Arr.
The mother. Mother, tell your children not to walk my way.
If
Tell
that
Jen
song
from
comes on
afar.
here, like on this trailer, I will totally watch it.
Yeah, right.
Just
yeah.
for that alone. Even if it doesn't
Right.
show back up in the movie. I'm like, it had a
Mother.
cool trailer. Jennifer Lopez with Glenn Danzig playing over it. That was weird, but it worked.
You know, sometimes when you see J-Lo, you're like, that's probably going to be terrible. And it's like, what about the sale?
Dude,
Yeah, right.
what about the Waiting for Tonight video? Like
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, let's.
green lasers everywhere.
That suit, though. All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Is this her Halle Berry gonna kill over a baby movie?
Oh. G.I. J-Lo. hard to believe she's 53.
I know.
What? So that's the kid all grown up, right?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Kind of like found her mom like Dexter.
Yeah.
Is this a take on that weird ass song from the 90s? Right, you are.
Ass shot.
The last ass you'll ever see.
I'm fine with that.
Man, she come a long way since In Living Color.
Yeah, for real,
She used to be
right?
one of the.
I mean, this was a judge
The
on
Fire
American
Girls.
Idol not a couple of years ago, you know?
That was her start though in Hollywood. Was on In Living Color the dancers that would come out. She was one of them.
Jenny from the Block, man.
Soul American. Look at this cast.
I'm looking forward to this.
Malkovich.
I haven't seen this trailer.
I haven't either, but
No.
written and directed by Charlie Day.
Let's
Count me
go.
in. Yeah. It's the final performance of Ray Liotta.
Yeah. So it wasn't Cocaine Bear. Thank God that wasn't his last movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that the
for
movie was
real.
terrible, but it was like Cocaine Bear? Really?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. They did this to
God.
people. He looks a lot better in this movie. They really did that to people. Is he an actor? He is an actor. He's going to be his double. I'm already in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Is that Big Pimpin'? Is that fucking Jason Sudeikis?
Yeah.
The physical comedy.
Yeah.
Podlocked, man. Podlocked.
He's really got some Charlie Chaplin vibes there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what I
dude,
mean?
you saw it from the get-go, man. This movie is such a clever idea. It seems like it's gonna be he's gonna
He's
pull
like a
a
silent
double,
movie star, yeah.
but carry the movie with the silent physical comedy, you know?
the other version of him talks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
The Family Stallone.
So this probably, I don't know, I haven't watched it, but from the
Like a
way
documentary?
from the thumbnail, it looks like it might be some lame ass reality show.
Mm.
But I'm down with Sylvester Stallone, so I figured I'd throw it in.
No. I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Is this his girls?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. I don't know if this is real. Nah, this seems. It's definitely scripted. Oh, huge ass. Damn.
Mm.
So the girls are getting a career off of daddy here.
Yeah.
Unwaxed. Okay.
So it's the Housewives formula, but like
Well, it's
our
keeping up
dad
with the
Sylvester
Stallones.
Stallone. Yeah.
You're doing it too, buddy. At least let the dog eat.
I feel like this might be something my wife watches,
Yeah.
but I'll stick around with her when she watches it if Stallone slowly just
Well-
plays this guy that's like, I don't really give a shit.
I don't want to be here like Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Fucking. I'm gonna catch the supercut on YouTube of all of his best bits.
But
Very
yeah,
nice
so that's the
best.
thing now.
All right.
I wonder what shenanigans the Balboas, I mean the Stallones are gonna get into.
Black Knight, like Martin Lawrence.
I
We
hope
already
so.
have that movie.
Yeah. You want to learn a little bit about my tradition? Remove the dog from the table. No offense, King.
The screenshot looks like a wasteland, so let's hope for the best here.
He's wearing a COVID mask. All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Sheesh. Ooh, delivering oxygen? Oh.
This is like
Korean?
Mad Max with oxygen.
Ooh, it's a TV show. Sci-fi. It is Korean. I was right. It'd probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll probably give the pilot a go.
It's got a
It doesn't
93% on the Google ratings.
So it doesn't explain why the world's like that. So I at least want to watch it enough to get that rundown, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it has something to do with global in the title, but
So I know we watched the trailer for this film already, I think, or at least a teaser. So I believe this is the full blown Shabazz.
mm-hmm.
But I doubled down this week with Bollywood just in case this is the one we've already seen.
All
But
right.
yeah, just a disclaimer on that.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Two moons? Oh.
Mm.
I don't think I've seen this trailer.
No.
There's some new.
This music is so off-putting.
He's gonna fight that.
Like, I
helicopter.
imagine like somebody making grave decisions on a spaceship, not this shit. Okay, I think this just goes on to more promo like that.
What's he
What
saying?
we saw, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that trailer.
No. But it looks epic as fuck.
So I thought this was also worth throwing out there. I only watched I think I watched all of it, but just really cool little animated shorts, like, and by anime I mean like almost full blown anime. Like, there was one in the first volume that dealt with these two Ronins. Like, it was drawn like a samurai story.
Mm.
And this Ronin ended up like saving this town and shit. But like when he brandishes his katana, it's a fucking red lightsaber, Sith lightsaber. So it creates that weird, like, you know, redemption type thing going on. But he's still like, nah, fuck that. I ain't a good guy, you know?
Right.
But, you know, figured it was worth checking out.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. I like how Australia and New Zealand has their own
Star Wars channel.
Like, don't they speak English?
Good eye, Mike.
Kiwi. Well, I definitely like the animation style.
Yeah.
What's orange? That's cool. Starting to see a lot of orange lightsabers.
Yeah.
Well, y'all remember that show?
Chicken Run.
And the one that the dude had the weird shaped head. Glasses. What was that?
I love this little avenue that they're using to, like, you know,
yeah,
have little different ideas out there. Like, this is a perfect avenue for that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be an old show, dude, where a cartoon where the dude had like a funny, his head was really long and rounded off, and he wore glasses, bald. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It had that same Chicken Run animation. I can't find it.
Oh, yeah, I know
you
who
know
you're
what I'm
talking about. Yeah.
He wore a suit.
And he had the dog.
Yeah. It was all like, it was kind of like Mr. Bean territory.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna cook these steaks. What are
Yes.
you getting into about
What was
Wallace
that?
and Gromit?
That's
Wallace
it,
and
dude.
Gromit.
Yeah.
That's the animation style. When I see that, anytime you see, I'm like, that's it.
The
Wallace
Force
and
gave
Gromit.
it to me, man.
The Force.
Gee.
It's like Wallace and Gromit, you loser.
Oh, here we go.
That Chatru?
Look at this
Oh.
fucking thumbnail.
So I think the key thing I tried to do is the trailers that we've had tonight are supposedly all trailers that have released within the past 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I think there might have been one that I had that was like a week ago, maybe.
Probably the
Oh,
one
but-
bottom.
Yeah, but I kept all of these at the time I was dropping them, it was like they had online times of like 8-9 hours.
That's what I do when I search for trailers. I type in trailers, then I go to filters, and I'm like, this week.
Yeah,
That's how you
Oh,
keep
yeah.
it, because it. You know,
because well, I mean, if you get, I mean, I'm sure for you guys, even with y'all's respected algorithms, I feel like y'all's feeds are probably ate up with like maybe a lot of these Star Wars trailers stuff, or like because like there was supposedly at the celebration
trailers.
there were trailers. Oh yeah, a ton of them.
yeah.
But for people who got to go to the celebration this year, not only did they get to see the Ahsoka stuff, I think there was a panel where they got to watch an episode of The Mandalorian and do a Q&A with Favreau and Filoni. But they also let audiences see the trailer for The Acolyte and The Skeleton Crew, both of which have not made their way online yet. So, because I tried to find it, but
Yeah.
all of them were just the concept trailers and screen culture and fucking
Yep.
people being like, here's the breakdown, the
Yeah.
67 things you missed when you were taking a shit while you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hell yeah. 3, 2, 1, play. Feed the beast. Cops. Already with the cops, you know? I am
They're
the
standing.
police. This looks like it was shot on a handy cam. Is that his keys? Why is it always distorted?
why did he tilt his head in the frame? That would have looked goofy as shit if you were actually there.
I ain't never seen a cop in a green shirt.
No.
Usually brown.
Dude, someone needs to turn the gain down on these microphones.
Why is it always yeah? Oh, this is a movie about the police. Oh shit. Oh, then here you go. Different movie. We always
How dare
do
you hit
this.
the police.
They fall in love.
I want that song to play when I'm making food.
Police, the movie. Damn. Ah. Tiger Media.
He jumped and slapped him.
Oh.
What the fuck?
I'm police. All the police gonna go watch this movie. Oh shit!
Bangladesh police.
I am police. Whoa. Subscribe.
Like,
That's
I am
crazy.
police.
I mean,
I don't want to watch it, to be fair.
it looks so bad. It looks like The Room, but the Indian
Well, that
version.
CGI was something
I
great.
feel like somewhere there's got to be a good little like 3-minute highlight reel that'll scratch whatever itch that trailer might have given someone.
Dude, Apple's always cucking with his comments turned off. Like,
I know, right?
every video they do is like, no comments.
Yeah. They don't want to hear it.
Well, dude, this has 9,000 likes and only 606 dislikes.
They're like, you bought our iPhones. Shut
Yeah.
up and watch this.
We don't want to know.
Yeah, you have the money to buy an iPhone.
Out of 3.4 million views, the dislikes, that's not bad.
Yeah, right.
Let's peep it.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, play. Budget. Common.
Dude, I'm already sold. That's
Did
a
they say
cool
we don't know who
idea.
built the sun?
Yeah.
China's working on one.
So they're all living in a mega city that was a converted silo.
Look who it is. Jacob's Ladder.
I'm a sucker for don't go outside, but I
Yeah.
won't go outside movies, you know?
But they go out. That's fine.
Yeah. What? Okay, books, whatever. Are they gonna straight up Logan's run the fuck out of here?
We do not know who built the sun. That guy's there.
Oh, Mormon. Alisi, no one's ever ventured outside the silo.
You must stay here with me. It is common.
He's like, look, yo, I'm common. This is my Hail Mary year, man. I'm making everything.
Yeah.
Tim Robbins is like, I was bored. I'll just make a movie.
This is probably gonna be a show, right?
It looks
Yeah,
like it.
it
I don't know
said
if
it
they
was
could
a
cram
series. I
everything in.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
this-
kind of in on that.
Yeah,
Like-
this looks interesting.
Look, gonna go out, and the world's gonna
suits
be
look-
green.
Those suits look 2001 as
Show
fuck,
the world.
man.
It does. Hell yeah.
I'm
May
gonna
the
give that a
5th.
spin. I mean, dude,
Don't leave the silo.
the season of the bangers is upon us, guys.
Wildens. Is this Shang-Chi?
It sure is.
Nice hairdo.
Yeah. Right.
You gotta touch the
But
roots
yeah.
up.
But yeah, I saw Simu Liu, which I assume was Shang-Chi, and Sam Worthington, and was like, yeah, we'll find out together, you know?
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. We watched a teaser for this. He's Robot.
Yeah.
Yep. Now we got the full trailer. Ooh, DirecTV.
But
I go
Sam,
in
you
on that.
already did a story where you were. Oh wait, he's a Blade Runner. That's what he is.
She got her little ex-Mike and a boyfriend.
I can't keep watching you die on that table, Todd.
Oh, she's one too. Altered Carbon.
Yep, they're gonna find out how to fucking
Yeah.
body swap, you know. Well, you ever seen Doctor Who? Yeah, well, let's just get rid of the Time Lord idea.
Dude, that would be fucked up though, to die like in a wreck and wake up
And you're just in a
and
surrogate
you're a
body.
robot, and it's like, I didn't ask for this. It's like, yeah, but I didn't want to lose you. It's like, yeah, but
There has to be something in your programming, bro.
I'm not really me anymore, am I?
Oh no, you died when your organic body dies, dude.
Google said by 2030 we'll be able to do this.
Google's full of shit too, man.
Nah, they're like, we'll be able to live forever.
A piece
AI
of a
is gonna
copy
solve
of
it,
you
dog.
will live forever.
Yeah,
but
it ain't gonna be you, but
yeah, the consciousness conversion won't ever happen.
it's like it's you, but it ain't you. Is this no, direct?
Dude, the Fear Factory feature film looks insane, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like it reinvents the wheel by any stretch of the imagination, but it looks like a good rainy day movie.
Oh yeah.
New movies have come to light. Let me throw this down. We got Inside. That's that William Dafoe where he's in that apartment.
Okay.
We got 65, Kylo Ren. And we got Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Now, I don't care what order we watch these in, but I really want to watch Inside first. Like, I'm going to watch that ASAP, whether we do it or not.
Yeah.
Well, let's just knock them out how you threw them out.
Roll
man.
it out like that?
Yeah.
I'll put them in a thing.
Let's do it.
Where's the thing? It ain't checked that out. Movie list. Inside, which was a great musical.
Yeah.
65. Fury of the Gods.
Furry of the Gods.
Furry of the Gods, and they're like wearing furry suits.
Yeah.
By the time we finish with this, Ant-Man will be available.
Nice.
So it'll actually be out before then, but
well, if possible, just go. Well,
you want to tack Ant-Man on when it comes out?
Yeah, just
we'll
put that
push
on
whatever
Shazam.
week that drops. We'll push this one back and slot that in because I do want to watch that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that works for me.
Definitely want to watch Ant-Man. I think it was the 17th or something. It's next week, I think.
A nice little month of movies we got.
Yeah, for sure.
Bangers. All right. Checks in the mail.
Yep.